Welcome everybody to the Tolga East Coast YouTube channel for yet another model train review. Today I have before you guys a Norfolk Southern -9. This Norfolk Southern -9 model number 9679 is part of ScaleTrains Rivet Counter series, which means that it has the maximal level of detail that they can apply to any locomotive. And it also bears DCC and sound functionality. It contains a lock sound V5 decoder, which, for what it is, so far from running it today, I must say I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't had anything bad to say about it. It features a start hold, it features all the usual horn, bell, light commands. It's pretty nice. But anyway, the engine also contains an astounding amount of detail, ranging from grab irons, MU hoses, MU cables, windshield wipers, mirrors, grills, stickers, and even EOT holders and a PTC antenna. So it contains a lot of detail, a lot of stuff already readily applied, and it even contains, of course, the handrails, which I have to admit they're a little bit fragile. In fact, when I was filming a little bit earlier, this happened that you can come to expect in a Rivet Counter locomotive. The lights. Oh. Here's a look at the engineer's side. Now, there is one little concern about these locomotives. When I got them in the mail, the sister unit that I filmed earlier on the Echoes layout 9651 had a couple pieces fall off, including the lower foot plates, like what you see here. The lowest piece can come off quite easily, and the Grand White E-bell that's included in this model, which I'll show you is on the conductor's side over here left of the fuel tank. That Grand White E-bell fell off of the 9651 as well. So if you order this model and you receive it in the mail, just be a little bit careful. And while I did damage some engineer side handrails a little bit earlier, unfortunately this handrail was already kind of bent like this when it came in the mail. So just be careful with the handrails as well. Honestly, they look fixable, but you just got to be extra careful. The wheels have rotating bearings, just like most Rivet Counter locomotives. And the back is the back. Now, I've heard a little bit of a concern that the walkway is a little bit bent. Looking at it, it looks kind of okay. There might be a little bit of a warp, and ScaleTrains has had a couple models warp in the past. And when adjusting this model, when kind of taking out of the box and everything, I noticed a couple of glue marks, which can be typical for any model, but those are the only concerns. I mean, otherwise it's a perfectly awesome model. There is also a mold mark here in the shape of a diagonal. Let's see if I can focus the light on it. Yeah, you can see that quite clearly. It looks like a scratch. In fact, when it first came out of the box, I was a little concerned that I had scratched the model already. But minor flaws aside, and yes, those are very minor flaws, I'm very happy with this model. I'm glad that a huge void has been filled in the HO scale world. I've been waiting for a good, reasonably accessible -9 model to be available in HO scale. MTH has made it in the past. Athearn has made it, but Athearn had butchered it because they only offered like this ready-to-roll version that had nose light instead of the roof mount, the cab mounted headlights. And my friend Nelson has one, and I mean it's a neat model, but it's not correct. And you want, for the price you're paying for these, you want the model to be correct. And these are expensive. This is $265 for all the detail, but honestly it's worth it. And before I fill you guys in with run-by footage, here is a look at the top of the unit, including the very intricate PTC antennas, horn, which is a Nathan K5LA, exhaust stack, and the rear radiators, which I am impressed that the radiators are see-through. That is a neat detail. Notice that the detail will vary by the road number, and that's what ScaleTrains likes to do with these Rivet Counters. They will actually apply road number specific details. The 9598's road number specific features include the lack of an eyebrow, but it retains horsehead paint and also has a primer colored handbrake near the back of the engine. But otherwise maintains the same level of detail as the other engines. It should also have an EOT mount on the engineer side. The 9679's road number specific features include silver PTC antennas, the white horsehead eyebrow, the new font number boards, and the usual array of details including black handbrakes. The 9651, however, does not have a PTC antenna and also does not have an EOT mount on the engineer side. Here's an up-close look at the engineer side of 9679, including the EOT mount in the rear truck.
We had the whole family until spring from July 4th.
Uh-oh.
MPH in there?
No, ScaleTrains.
Alan, check with Tracy. He'll give you a training. This one good? Mm-hmm. And which one else? That's right off the box, MU?
Yep.
What about it?
What is that? It's a few bars.
It doesn't have a front coupler though. But I don't. The people who sold me the B38 apparently decided, oh, we're not gonna. Yeah, no front coupler.
So great, see, what do you want these locomotives? That'll be right. No problem, right?
You think they're running? So 40 that's too probably. This is V5.
guys can see some of the amazing detail, including the MU cables, the air hose, the new couplers. Nice to see that ScaleTrains start to use very KD-like couplers if they're not KDs themselves. At least they look like KD number 5s. There are the ditch lights, handrails, grab irons, correct cab headlight, beautiful cab inside. You can kind of see some of the details in the cab. If I lift this camera up, you can see the desktop control stand, and of course the number boards, which are presumably correct for this unit. This is kind of the newer style that a lot of the rebuilds or repaints have, and it's neat that ScaleTrains caught on to this detail because no two engines really have the same detail. In fact, there is a road number that has a completely different looking cab, which you should have seen in the run-by footage. Anyway, another neat feature that you don't see now that you would have probably seen in the run-by footage is the way the lights are arranged. There are side-mounted walkway lights scattered throughout this locomotive. There is one up front below the horse head, one in the back, and one on the engineer side. It's a little hard to see, but if you watch the video of the run-bys, you would have seen it. And it is a really neat detail. It's somewhere around here. It's like a nice white LED. The LEDs are much better than the GEVOs. The GEVOs were notorious for dim headlights, but they seem to have righted that wrong. However, there were indications that the rear headlights were a little bit dimmer than the nose headlights, and I guess that will reflect on my overall thoughts of the model. But worry not, I highly still recommend getting this locomotive. It is essential for a Norfolk Southern hobbyist, essential for a Norfolk Southern mainline layout. These are everywhere throughout the system. Pretty much every NS main has a -9 roaming along in the system. There are still a lot of these, even though a number of these are getting rebuilt into AC44 or C6Ms, but these remain a mainstay in the fleet, and what can I say, ScaleTrains has done a great job modeling this locomotive. Now if you're looking for perfection, you may want to think it a little bit over. Just wait, just have a try, have a taste of it before buying it. But I still think that minor flaws aside, minor flimsiness aside, this locomotive is great for a Norfolk Southern collector. And that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this rather brief review, but the more comprehensive run-by footage as well. And if you want to see more run-by footage of HO ScaleTrains, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also, meanwhile, please feel free to leave a like or a comment on this video. Let me know what you think about this engine. Thanks for watching, and from HQ on a very late Saturday night after running at the Echoes layout, this is TE out.